Hey guys, what is up? Ioki here, bringing you another support coaching, showing you guys how to climb. This is actually our first coaching session on the new patch. The durability update is here, and we are going to be coaching a player by the name of Charlie the Bear. He's a silver Maokai player. Maokai is a pretty solid pick right now. It's got really nice build diversity. You can go Comet, you can go Aftershock. I probably wouldn't be going First Strike, Charlie, but I did take a look at your OPGG, and it looks like 90% of games you are going Comet. I would probably just kind of relegate First Strike to a for fun build. But guys, before we get too deep into the coaching, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and let me know down in the comments if you guys want to see more educational, nose to the grindstone kind of coaching sessions like this, because I really like doing them for you guys, and you guys seem to get a lot out of them, and I want to help you guys climb. So, all right, so let's kind of take a look at our matchups here. So we're going to stay Malphite support with Grasp of the Undying. Should be an absolutely piss-free matchup for you. You've got Hard Engage. You've got, Maokai's actually just such a great champion, especially when he's playing against like cheese champions like Malphite. You just bring so much more to the table. You've got instant CC starting at level 2, level 2, not 2. You've got, guaranteed CC. You can't mess it up. You've got poke. You've got, vision control. You've got zone control with your saplings. So let's see. I want to see you bringing way more to the table than this Malphite, because trust me, as a Malphite support enthusiast, I know he brings absolutely nothing to the table, especially with this awful rune setup until level 6. So I love to see, in my coaching sessions, I always want to talk about what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, so you can keep doing the things that you're doing right and climb, and stop doing the things you're doing wrong, of course. So you're out the gates. You're not like this loser Varus who thinks that the game doesn't start until, 2 minutes into the game or 30 seconds. We're out here. We're getting vision. What I like to do at level 1, especially as a champion that is reliant on bush control as Maokai, is I want to come out here and get a ward and then back and then get my red trinket. Because what that does is it's basically like a little cheat code at the beginning of the game. You get to use your ward to, control the enemy jungle, or see which buff he's starting, or even protect against invades, maybe even save your mid laner for a level 2 gank. And you get to use your red trinket to clear out these 3 bushes in the bot lane. So I don't know what we're actually going to do level 1. It looks like it's like some sort of half-hearted invade. Okay, we do get our ward. So what you should be doing right now is you press B, you go back, you get a red trinket. Beautiful. Awesome. This guy watches Ioki. I love to see this, man. Oh. What we doing here? Why are we not leashing for our jungler? All right, so it looks like, are we going for like harass or a red steal? I want to say no matter how this goes down, this is a bad play. I'm going to be very shocked if you actually steal this red buff, but even if you do, it's a bad play, and I'll talk you through why. Please don't. Oh my god. You actually stole the red buff. Okay, Charlie, there's this concept that I do in coaching where even if it's a good result, it may not be a good play. And I want you to only make good plays regardless of the result, so that you can continue climbing and not relying on, Master Yis that refuse to smite, supports that don't protect their jungler or zone for their jungler. All this is going to do. So let's live in a world where you didn't steal the red buff, right? All this is going to do is allow you to not get good setup, which Maokai is absolutely excelling at. Like, he's one of the best champions. If he gets to lane early, like after the wave crashes, you put a sapling right here, boom, you have guaranteed damage. They can't just be zoned by this, so they have to walk through it, right? Then you're proccing your first strike. You can also sweep out their bushes. You can do whatever. Like, there's some matchups where you can even like sit in this bush and like cheese them when they come to lane from leashing. But it looks like you do get one sapling. But look at this. You see what's happening here? Your Varus got solo XP. You did not get level 2. You're not going to get level 2 at the same time as him. And as a hard engaged champion that is like has such a strong level 2 as Maokai and Leona and Thresh and Nautilus, like that's going to mess you up. Like 99% of games, you are not going to be the guy that steals the red. 99% of the games, you're just going to be the support that, loses prio, that doesn't get the good setup, that wastes his level 1 and misses XP. And trust me, as you start playing against better players, missing a single minion of XP, it changes the entire lane. So I'm glad you got to steal the red. That's funny. That's really funny, but yeah, it's not gonna happen in most games. See, like Maokai also messed up by leashing for too long. He missed level 2 as well. These are pretty good saplings though. Your sapling, placement is pretty good. You're placing it outside the wave so that it doesn't aggro the minion. You're gonna get some pretty guaranteed hits here by putting one there and one there. It's good. All right, let's see what we do with our level 2, though. This is a bad sapling, though. This is a bad sapling because they're not going to be pushing into you. In fact, you're going to have the impetus is going to be on you to make a play here on your level 2, right? So you should be wanting to, like, push them back. Don't sapling assuming that, like, they're going to be pushing into you. You want to use your saplings to, like, choke them out. Put it in this bush, even put it in that bush. Because what that does is makes them, like, if a fight does break out, they can't use this bush at all, right? If a fight breaks out, they're not looking to use this bush. They're going to be running away, right? So this is a pretty bad sapling. Yep, see, and it hits the minion anyways. All right, level 2. Let's see what we got level 2. Now, the options you have are flash Wing onto this Lucian. You absolutely want to do something with your level 2, right? Especially because Maokai is not only level 2. Even if he was level 2, this champion's not useful until level 6. So your options are to just, go onto the Maokai, or you can flash W onto the Lucian. So let's see what we do here. Hopefully we do one of those two. Okay. Looks like we're going for the flash W onto the Lucian. To be honest, the circumstances kind of changed the second that the sapling hit this Maokai. This Malphite's going to be, like, relatively chunked. I honestly think that you wouldn't have to use your flash. You could just W onto this Maokai and hardcore chunk him. But we do go with the flash W onto Lucian. However, it wasn't a very good combo. So there's champions with mobility can do something called buffering, their mobility move. It's a lot more noticeable on champions like Ezreal and Tristana. I'm sure you've been playing like Blitzcrank or something, right? And you hook the Ezreal and you're like, yes, I got him. And then all of a sudden he blinks out of it. It's like, what? Or you hook Tristana and you're like, yeah, I got the Tristana. And then all of a sudden she W's out of it. She jumps out of it. And you're like, what? Lucian can pretty much do that exact same thing. So you need to be making sure that your flash W is much cleaner than this. Like, I'm going to slow this down and show you just how much space, how much time you gave him to react. You see that? If you had just W'd, let Maokai start walking towards Lucian and then flash, it's going to be pretty instant, right? He's going to W as soon as he's in range. But yeah, it needs to be much cleaner than that because what that did was allow Lucian time to react. And like, obviously, players have different mechanical skill and, the ability to press buttons faster, but I promise you, Flash W is not that hard of a combo. You can do it much faster than that. And if you had done it faster than that, you would have either gotten his Flash or you would have killed him. But to be honest, like, the option of going on to Malphite there was... It wasn't terrible. You definitely could have done it. All right, this is kind of a unique game because not only do you know that Yi is not going to be pathing bot, he probably wouldn't be ganking early games anyways, just because he's a Yi and he wants to full clear and like, full clear to 6 at least usually. But also it's a unique game because not only the buff that he started, but the buff that he didn't get. So Yi is super, super far behind. In a more standard game, even if you knew that they leashed this, I would probably be, once the wave crashes, walk up here and put your ward down. Or you don't have a ward because you have red trinket, that's fine. Use your sapling. That's the beautiful thing about Maokai, is that you get free vision that lasts for 30 seconds and also damages people. So that's kind of just like a rule of thumb that you want to be controlling this bush when this wave crashes, okay? So, and that goes for like, once they've put a pink ward up here and everything like that too, once they're stuck under their turret and they, you see both of them, you can kind of keep your eye on them and watch their body language, see if they move up. But that's when you want to be controlling this bush. Crash the wave, control the bush. Crash the wave, control the bush, okay? You crashed the wave and didn't really do anything. We see Master Yi top though. See, now we're controlling the bush. But we already know Master Yi's top, so there's no real reason to do it. Also, remember, crash the wave, control the bush. Do it as soon as it crashes. Nice. But once again, our wave is not crashed. So it makes it a lot harder to do that, especially once you start losing track of like where their mid laner is. You don't know where their support is. Again, this is kind of a unique game because you know for a fact Malphite is not going to be useful. But like worst case scenario, what if Master Yi and Malphite were both in that bush? Crash the wave, then control the bush. All right, we want to be looking for a crash on this wave and then go back and spend our gold. We should have a pretty decent amount of it. Nice. We get our back off. I would say you're a hard engaged champion. So looking mid is not terrible here. However, your CC is very, very easy to dodge for a champion like Fizz who can go untargetable. Obviously, they need to be targetable for your W to hit. So, I'm fine with you walking back to lane here. But if you're playing like a slightly different champion with a slightly different matchup in mid, like if you were a Nautilus or Leona or a Thresh or something like that, walking mid here would be absolutely the play to do, right? If you watch my high elo games, like 80% of the time I'm just like pathing this way. And then once I get like right here, I decide if mid is gankable or not. And if it's not, I just walk back to bot. Because you got a little bit of time. Like you crash that wave, which gives you time to like kind of walk around the map. You have map presence. Because they have to push that all the way back to you now. All right, look for anything here, bro. You guys just bought. They have not spent a single gold. Go on the Malphite. This Malphite is so close to your turret. Yeah. Yeah, what is this guy doing? What is this? What are you doing? All right, I'm going to tell you a setting, Charlie, and it's going to change your life, okay? Anytime, I'm serious. Watch my stream. Literally anytime that I'm in combat with the champion, I'm holding down target champion only. So that things like this never happen again. You will never auto a minion again. You will never accidentally W and use your very important CC on a minion again. You will never make that mistake again. There's a setting called target champion only. I have it set to the spacebar, but I know that most people use that button for like their camera setup. And then there's another setting where you can change target champion only to toggle and turn that off. So that target champion only is not on a toggle. It'll only last for as long as you hold down the spacebar or whatever button you set it to. But seriously, like, listen, this game, there's a lot of hitboxes here. There's a lot of things you can accidentally misclick. But if you turn it on target champion only, it will never happen again, man. And it's so, so useful. Like, I was getting so sick. I turned that setting on years ago because I was getting so sick of, like, flash stunning a minion as Leona. And then, like, the whole play was ruined. And, like, you seriously, like, you'll lose games off of that. All right. This is pretty, I mean, this is close enough to a crash, honestly, to be under the rule of thumb of crash the wave. Plus, we know that they're, oh, this is really, really good. I like this. I love this. Maybe not a pink ward just because, like, it's a little easier to clear. But maybe, like, throw your sapling here and use your pink ward here. This is a little hard to defend. There you go. But I love the idea of you taking the fact that, like, you're not taking an inch, you're taking a mile, right? You're crashing the wave, and you know that Lucian has to go directly there. You're getting deeper vision. Another option would be to walk up here. I think you'd be pretty comfortable to walk up here and get like this ward here, just because your jungler is so close to be able to rotate if you're in trouble. But I like the idea, man. I love the idea of you getting deeper vision. This right here separates like decent supports from like supports who actually know how to punish people. Like same thing for like if you're on the opposite side. You know, if you're playing on the blue team, you crash this wave, and then you come up and get a ward here, or a ward here, sapling here, take their blast cone, take their resources, right? All right, once again, the flash W is a little slow there. He still got off his dash. This is going to be a little risky. I think this might be like a 1-for-1. Oh. 1 for... Yeah, it's a 1-for-1. Okay. Not bad. Just kind of work on your flash Ws because they need to be much faster. This guy, because like the difference between this guy being able to reposition like that, it makes Varus have to walk forward, and I think he like, did he miss it, an ability? I think he missed his arrow because of that, just because he was able to reposition. So, you know, this game is sometimes like a game where of inches, right? Just go into practice tools, set up a bunch of target dummies, change your flash cooldown to 0, and just flash W, flash W, flash W until it's like the fastest thing ever. It should be like pretty like near imperceptible. You need to get it fast enough that like no regular human can like really respond to it. I like the proactive playmaking though. You really are like the type of support player that I love seeing. Like, you're not sitting around like waiting for plays to happen. Like, look at this. You're roaming with your jungler. Charlie, you've got a lot of really good fundamental things going for you. Okay, we don't want to hit that there because I'm pretty sure Fizz was about to face check you. And all that does is like kind of let him know that the play has started a little bit sooner. But you guys should get this guy. Also, you could throw that sapling way deeper, bro. Yeah, that sapling, you did like, I think you could have thrown that sapling like even over the wall, maybe cut off that escape. But good stuff. Proactivity, once again, roaming, love it. Okay, let's talk about itemization, because now I know that you're going for Imperial Mandate over Liandry's. Imperial Mandate is a totally fine build. I really do think that Liandry's kind of edges it out right now, and that may be different on the next patch, but currently this patch is being played on 12.10, the durability update. Everyone that can go Liandry's pretty much is going Liandry's. So you can make an argument that your mid laner is already getting a Liandry's, and Liandry's damage doesn't actually stack, so it's like not super efficient to have both two of them on one team. But man, Liandry's is really, really good on Maokai. I don't think that you're itemizing wrong by any means. You know, I see people going like Everfrost on Maokai. That is what I would consider wrong itemization. But Liandry's on this patch is absolutely psychotic. So just keep that in mind. You know, they do have one tank and one person who's probably like, you know, possibly could be building Bruisery. And Liandry's is obviously much more efficient the more tanks that they have. So just keep that in mind. Maybe try it out. See if you like the Liandry's. The pros and got a lot of pros, got a lot of cons. Obviously, Liandry's is stronger on this patch because everybody has more health. So max health burn is much more efficient. And the con is that it takes significantly longer to get on a support budget. But man, it is quite the power spike. All right, so we need to be thinking about Malphite as an actual champion now, guys. So you've been pretty much playing a 1v2 until now. That game has changed entirely. Careful, though. They can see you throwing saplings from here to here, so they actually, if they were paying attention, they would know that you're in this bush. And you might just get, like, 1v2'd here. All right, see, like, don't be afraid to just go on this Malphite. Like, okay. I've been kind of letting it slide because going on Malphite is a little sus sometimes, but this guy's building full AP. He's not nearly as tanky as you would think as he is. He's way more out of position. He doesn't have a dash. Like, look how hard you're making it for this Varus to walk up and DPS this Lucian. It's not just about, like, can you land it on Lucian? It's about, can Varus follow up on Lucian? It would be so much easier to just W onto that Malphite there. He gets hit by your entire chain. He's CC'd right here. Varus has an easy access, right? Actually, a nice Q interrupted the Lucian. But okay, we need to play knowing that we're down a really big ulti now. We're down 2 ultis actually. So we need to really be kind of spooked about the fact that Malphite has disappeared into this area. We don't have bush control because we haven't crashed the wave, right? Okay, yeah. This is like one of those like anime episodes where it's like to be continued. All right. So this is not Varus's coaching session. Obviously, you could have like pinged him off of that wall or like typed to him like, "Hey, respect Malphite ult," something like that. But, you know, he's the one that got caught. You're making kind of the best of a bad situation. It is good that you went onto the Lucian, not the Malphite there, just because like the same way that you have to make it easy for Varus to follow up, Malphite needs to make it easy for Lucian to follow up, and you need to make it harder for Lucian to follow up. So it's like, you know, Malphite's already done his job by using his ultimate. It is good target prioritization there for you to go on Lucian. But really, the whole play went bad when, oh my god, you almost killed him. When Varus disrespected this wall. So, you know, obviously I'm not here to coach Varus, but it's just good to know, like, what you could have done differently. And it's good to see other players' mistakes that you may not have thought about, because I guarantee you made that mistake too, right? All right. I don't think I've seen you path mid a single time. The most you've ever done is, like, path right here. The same way that, like, you know, when you had bush control and Lucian was still on his way back to lane, and you came in here and did, you know, sapling and warded here, you can do that on this side of the map too. You can walk mid, and if your mid has prio and is able to rotate even if you're in trouble, you can pretty much play as if you're invincible, right? There's that concept that I call play as if you're invincible. And, you know, when I said earlier, I think I mentioned it earlier, where you can walk through this route if your jungler's here. You can walk to this route if your mid laner is here, right? Because their mid laner has to come catch this wave. Absolute worst case scenario, you run into their jungler and you walk this way and your mid laner connects with you. So best case scenario, you get all kinds of vision here, maybe here, drop one here, here. Worst case scenario, you're totally fine. So be taking advantage of that. I need to see a little bit more pathing mid. But I do like this. And hey, look at that. You just walk out. They see you. Oh, okay. I just walk out. Malphite doesn't have ult. What are you going to do? You're a Master Yi. Also, I should have said this at the very beginning of the match when I was talking about matchups. Your job is to lock down the Yi this game. Like, that is literally your job and your job alone, because you're the only person with targeted CC. Unmissable, unmess-upable. You need to be pressing W on Master Yi. Also, this is a waste of a ward. Really, really bad ward here. If you're going to ward the Dragon Pit, it should only be if you think they're going to do the dragon. Much better ward would be to do here, because that, you know, can see a little bit of this entrance. But if you're going to ward the Dragon Pit, one, make it a control ward, which you should be buying. And two, put it right here. Because that way, this ward doesn't see any of the river. If you put it right here, it sees the river and the Dragon Pit. Same thing with the Baron Pit and the Rift Herald. Always put the ward, preferably a control ward, right here so it sees the whole pit and some of this. This is a bad ward. Don't do that ward. Dude, look how free this is, man. Look how freaking free okay. So we're disrespecting a little bit. I don't know if we got like a little trigger happy because we saw Malphite taking damage. The second we see Fizz, hey, you keep running, bro. You just keep running because your jungler's not close enough yet to get to this fight very fast. So we should not ever be giving an assassin a direct line to you like this because, you know, you're not tanky, bro. You're building Imperial Mandate. So, you know, this didn't go that bad, but honestly, it kind of did because you could have just walked up and instead you lost your incredible ult and flash. So now you have like significantly less playmaking abilities, right? Because now you can't do that flash W. What is this Lucian doing? Also, the way they're playing, you see how they keep poking their head out? If this were me, I would assume that means that Master Yi is here. It doesn't, apparently. Oh, no, Master Yi is there. Oh, I almost didn't even see him. He was behind Malphite. Yeah, you can, okay, so you can kind of like read a lot of their body language. Just be like, why would they be wanting to take this fight, right? You know what I mean? Like, they're already down their Assassin's ultimate. Why are they trying to provoke you into fighting this? And that's because Master Yi is here. If you get used to like reading League of Legends players' body language, it can tell you a lot. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in laning phase and these guys are playing super, super safe and not wanting to fight you at all, and then all of a sudden they're stepping up, maybe they have a jungler here. You know, stuff like that. This is a really sus dragon, but you didn't start it, so... Yeah, this is... I mean, this is just going to be a coin flip. Looks like Varus is dead. Looks like Master Yi's embarrassing you guys. All right, we don't want to fight this, though. We do not want to fight this. We want to let Ziggs go catch mid. We already got the dragon. be spamming your jungler right now. Okay, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead and he's roping you guys into it. But yeah, definitely a bad fight. Again, probably not your call, but I also am not seeing you ping at all, really. You did the one ping. You should just be like spam pinging. Don't be afraid to be that guy that spam pings, right? If you know a play is bad, because like, look, you lost mid lane, you lost bot lane XP, you lost a lot. And for no reason, because you already had the objective. You know, the impetus should be on the enemy team there to like try to salvage the play. It's like, oh, they got dragon, but maybe we can get him into a bad fight. Your thinking should be, we got the dragon, let's not fight, guys. Really, really, really bad ult. Your ult is super slow. So unless you're shooting it in a way that is going to redirect them, in a way, not a super great ult. Looks like it did end up fighting. Actually, your thinking here may have been to redirect them into Kha'Zix. I just want to make sure that's what your thinking was. So you're cutting off this exit here to make him go this way, and then Kha'Zix can kill him there. That's actually not terrible thinking. If that's what your thinking was. Okay, not the worst. Not the worst ult, actually. No, I take it back. But I kind of had like PTSD because I see so many bad Maokai players like use their ultimate from a mile away, thinking that like they're just going to walk into it for free. Because it's a very, very, very slow ult. It should be used as kind of like a zoning ult or a control ult, or just like as part of your natural CC combo. Or, you know, compiling CC on someone who's already CC'd, stuff like that. Okay, we're just grabbing mid wave. This is fine. This is fine. This is a really bad sapling because all this is going to do is to terrorize the minions so that the tower kills them instead of whoever's trying to farm it. Don't ever use your sapling like this. The only reason you should ever use sapling like this is if you're desperate to keep them off that wave. Like, let's say the enemy team has Baron and they're sieging, and that's all you can do to slow down the Baron siege. Always want to be saving your saplings for, you know, bushes. Okay, you want to be really, really careful right this in areas like this, because think about the worst case scenario. What if Master Yi comes through here? What if Fizz makes a beeline for you? He has his ultimate up. You know, you don't have flash, and look how far away your mid and jungle is. Your mid is occupied with the wave, and your jungler is doing raptors over there. So worst case scenario, Fizz probably could have just killed you here. You know, he's on Mythic. You're full AP. You're not tanky. We'll be a little careful with that type of rotation. Now it's just Fizz getting, or that's just Ziggs getting caught out. All right, let me rewatch this. Because we really shouldn't be looking to make any play right here. Best case scenario, it's 2v4. You can just back up and give that turret. You can just completely back up if you want to. Kha'Zix misclicked. It looks like they're playing it absolutely terrible. Oh my god, so are we though. Yeah, I think in any normal scenario, you just don't fight the 2v4. Luckily, they played it absolutely horrifically. So you ended up being not a terrible result. But hey, by the way, Flash or Ignite is only a 2.5 minute cooldown. Just use it. Throw it on the Fizz here. Throw it on the Lucian, actually, ideally. If you know you're dying, you know, Flash is a little bit different because that's a 5 minute cooldown. Or 4.5 with Cosmic Insight. What is it? Yeah, 4 minutes with Cosmic Insight. But Ignite is like very, very disposable. Just use it. It could have made the difference. But realistically, if you're 2v4, I think you just back up and give them that turret there in any real game. I really do. I want to see you doing so much more of this, bro. And like even taking it further, honestly. I love the fact that you're walking into their jungle so much. So rule of thumb. If you're ahead, you want to be warding the enemy jungle and choking that out. If the game is really, really close, you want to be controlling river vision And if you are behind, you want to be controlling your jungle. All right, no need to flash there, I think, but it's fine because who knows? Maybe, you know, Fizz dashes to you there. Also, I love the fact that you're willing to stop your back there. It didn't have a great result, but this is good presence. This is good presence. Really, you shouldn't even be like thinking about backing here because you need to be staying. It ended up costing you, but honestly, if you didn't misplay your flash earlier, you could have gotten the W off on Yi and then flash back into the bush, drop division so that Teemo can't kill you there. But listen, it's one of those things. Remember when I said like, even if it's a good result, it might be a bad play. Well, even if it's a bad result, it might be a good play, and I want you to keep doing those. Always be, as long as you have 1 HP left, man, you can stay in the fight. You can be useful to your team. Especially as a champion like Maokai. Also, consider swapping out Sork Shoes. Unless, okay, so I think if you're going to go Leandries, you should go Sork Shoes. But if you're going Imperial Mandate, you're kind of going for like a budget build, right? Like you do have pretty decent damage. Very, very cheap build. Just go CDR Boots, because that puts your flash on an even lower cooldown. Puts your sapling on a lower cooldown. You know, it's going to be like a very slight drop in damage. But you're not your team's main source of AP damage anyways, right? So you shouldn't be expected. Your team doesn't need your AP damage. It's just like kind of like an added bonus. What your team needs is your hard CC on Master Yi and Fizz and Lucian and Teemo. Also, this is like a really, really hard timing thing, but you can actually dodge pretty much everything with Maokai W. No, you could actually dodge like a Malphite ult by Wing to a minion or to a champion. But it's unfeasible in most scenarios. But like you can even dodge Karthus ult, for instance. Okay. All right, so we're getting pretty close to the point of the game where it's kind of just going to be like Fiesta. This is a really, really bad engage, by the way. Your tank is completely preoccupied. You are not tanky at all. So by Wing into just 3 of them, you're just going to instantly die. Like, look how far. And sometimes that's worth for you to instantly die. If you got like a 3-man ulti off here and your DPS was right here and they got the, you know, just basically treat them like a shooting range. But look how far your DPS is. That, I think, is the biggest mistake you're making, is you're not thinking about how far the closest actual useful member of the team is, right? I mean, look how fast you die. Like, that's like literally a second and a half. Yeah, your mid and ADC were just way too far. And I'm starting to see that as a trend, is you're not really thinking about, like, where Kha'Zix is. Where is Varus? Can Varus follow up on this? I hear that all the time as, like, the biggest excuse that low elo support players make. It's like, oh, man, I go in and I get these great engages, but my team just doesn't follow up. And it's like, dude, they probably can't in most scenarios. But yeah, it's starting to get to the point of the game where it's just like kind of a fiesta. People are running around, taking fights here and there. It, you know, I think we've probably passed most of the coachable session of this game. And it's just going to be like, you know, chicken dance. Make sure you're sapling here, by the way. There's even a 1% chance that someone steals it. Maokai has the best zoning ever as a support. Just sapling 1 in each entrance. Boom, it's your Baron, guaranteed. Whereas, like, the damage that you're doing to the Baron with your saplings is very, very negligible. It's very small. Okay. We've also established a pretty big lead here. Pretty massive gold lead. I think you guys are just gonna like siege them out, choke them out. Wait, I want to see how you died here. Do you just get Malphite ulted? You step on a shroom, actually. That's pretty funny. Remember, you can just walk behind, like, against Teemo, if your sweeper's down or you just don't want to sweep, you can always just, like, stay in the line that the minions take, because as long as the minions push up, you know there's no shrooms there. All right, here comes Malfi. Going second. Demonic Embrace, that's a good item. I like Demonic Embrace into Zhonya's on this build. So Imperial Mandate or Liandry's, Demonic Embrace. Zhonya's is really good. Zhonya's because, like, it can stall for your next round of abilities. You know, to give you that extra 2.5 seconds of stalling. Maybe you get off another W. Maybe you get off another passive. You're still in the fight. All right, yeah. So we're just going to win one of these Fiesta fights. We get the inhibitor, and we win the game. All right, so I'm seeing some good stuff. I'm seeing some really good fundamentals. Absolutely consider swapping out First Strike. It's a little bit of a 4-fun rune. Continue building upon these fundamentals of going into their jungle, knowing when you can go into their jungle. The biggest mistake I'm seeing you make, though, bro, is that you are not thinking about where is your DPS. And playing champions like Maokai, Thresh, Rel, Leona, you don't, you know, Maokai is a bit of an exception to that rule. He does have quite a bit of damage on his own. Morellos isn't bad, by the way. Probably want to go Morellos this game, though. They don't have any Conquerors, don't have any real healing outside of Master EW. It's fine, though. But yeah, you need to be thinking about where the rest of your team is, especially when roaming with your jungler, especially when, you know, getting deep vision with your mid laner. You're not thinking about that kind of stuff, and that's the biggest mistake I'm seeing you make. Otherwise, good stuff, bro. That was a fun game, and hopefully you learned quite a bit, and as well as anyone watching this on YouTube. Charlie, you know where to reach me if you have any questions about anything at all. You can contact me on Discord, Twitter, Twitch, OnlyFans. Maybe not that last one, but hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Take it easy, boys. Peace.